Hello, I'm Anissa Batiste and welcome to the Point. Offend someone on Facebook, go to jail in Grenada. This was the headline of the Associated Press News article of June 29, 2013. At that time, the Electronic Crimes Bill 2013 had been passed in the lower house of Parliament in Grenada. In the face of concerns raised by Grenadians and by regional and international media, the government withdrew the bill to allow for more consultation thereon. Last week, Wednesday, the 21st of August, however, this bill was passed in the upper house of Senate with the controversial Section 6 and 16 remaining unchanged. According to the notorious Section 6, if a person sends information electronically which can be deemed, and I quote, grossly offensive, unquote, and if you send, quote, electronic mail or an electronic message for the purpose of causing annoyance or inconvenience, unquote, you may be charged up to EC $100,000 or go to prison for up to 1 year or both. Furthermore, the equally problematic Section 16 of the law makes it a criminal offense if you use an electronic system to, quote, annoy or insult, unquote, another person, punishable by a fine of up to EC $100,000 or up to 3 years in jail or both. Since the language grossly offensive, insult, annoy, causing annoyance or inconvenience is subjective, uncertain, and unclear, and since the law itself does not provide any guidance in the interpretation section thereof, it means that it will be left up to the arbitrary feelings of one individual, that is the judge, to determine if your electronic communication fits those descriptions or not. So what does this law in Grenada have to do with Vincentians anyway, you may ask? Well, Section 3 of the law shows that it applies not only to Grenadians, but also to, and I quote, a person resident or carrying out business in Grenada or visiting Grenada or staying in transit in Grenada, end of quote. In short, this law can affect any CARICOM national, including media workers, artists, musicians, bloggers, and just Facebook and other social media users. The point is, such sections will negatively impact upon the inalienable freedom of expression of the people. Freedom of expression allows us to exercise freedom of opinion, freedom of conscience, freedom of belief, and freedom of thought. These freedoms are all protected in the constitutions of Grenada and of those other CARICOM states, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It is not the role of government to legislate against offense, insult, inconvenience, and annoyance. For what one person might find offensive may not be offensive to another, and what one may consider an insult may not be seen as insult by another. Therefore, such a law will essentially make criminals of some persons and free men of others, even though they communicate electronically the very same information. This would therefore mean that there is no equality for all before the law. This law would also encourage persons to engage the legal system every time they feel offended, even if they feel offended over that which it is within your right and freedom to communicate via the electronic media. For oftentimes, the communication of the very truth offends. Often, your simple opinion is seen as an insult. Must you go to jail for tweeting the truth? Must you go to jail for your opinion posts on Facebook? I ask this question. What if a Grenadian, upon seeing this law on a government website, finds it grossly offensive to his constitutional freedom of expression? What if he finds it an insult to his intelligence as a Grenadian with freeborn rights? What if it annoys him and creates inconvenience for him to practice his freedom of expression without fear and censorship online? Can he bring a claim in the court against Grenada's government using this same law which they passed? The law is ludicrous and untenable. It cannot work. As British 20th century writer George Orwell once said, and I quote, "If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear." End of quote. This will by necessity cause offense at some points. But as Salman Rushdie notes, and the point is, I quote, "What is freedom of expression? Without the freedom to offend, it ceases to exist." End of quote. I believe that the anti-freedoms portions of Section 6 and 16 of the Electronic Crimes Act of 2013 of Grenada should be repealed. Thank you for listening. I'm Anissa Batiste, right here on IKTV with To The Point. If you have comments, please send them to my email. It's on your screen and it is servingthepeople.ab@gmail.com.